We've reached the penultimate episode of our second season. And if you thought last week was exciting, then hold on to your wings because this week is going to blow you away. Let's do it. Our story begins with Elisa and the gang arriving at the summit of Wind Mountain, the tallest mountain in the verdant valley and home to the legendary Skyweaver. It's an arduous climb, but they made it just in time to see a massive cyclone forming below them. The swirling winds have already begun to pick up, and soon the entire village will be caught in its path. If it hits, the mountain's peak won't be strong enough to withstand such a powerful storm. It's causing the whole thing to collapse and burying the village in rubble. Not good. Aris, who's been guided to this mountain by the very wind that he now fears may destroy everything, explains that the only way to stop the cyclone is to use the ancient Skyweaver teleportation device to guide the storm out to sea. But to do that, they'll need the one thing they don't have, a sky crystal. Luckily for them, the legendary Skyweaver lives here, and she might just be able to help. Meanwhile, back at the village, we get a much-needed exposition dump from none other than Zig, who's taken it upon himself to care for the egg, while Quibble goes off on his very important quest. As far as exposition dumps go, this one isn't half bad. We learn that when the Great Cyclone hit years ago, it was actually a sky whale that caused it. One so huge and powerful that when it passed over the valley, the winds were strong enough to uproot an entire forest, which is what ultimately led to the creation of the village in its current form. But the most important thing we learn is that the sky whale was drawn to the egg, drawn to its immense power. If that's the case, then there's a good chance the current sky whale is also heading towards the egg. Which means if they can't stop the storm, then whatever's inside the egg won't stand a chance. Back at Wind Mountain, the gang finally meets the Skyweaver, who turns out to be an old friend of Zig's. After explaining their predicament, the Skyweaver agrees to help, but not before giving them all a much-needed pep talk about believing in themselves.
How?
She then leads them to the teleportation device, a massive crystal lattice housed within the mountain itself. Powered by the very life force of the mountain and connected by invisible threads to every living thing on the island. With the Skyweaver's help, they were able to stabilize the threads leading to the cyclone and begin guiding it away from the village and towards the ocean. But it's much weaker than they expected, which means something's interfering with its path. Before long, they find the source, a massive tree root system anchoring itself to the mountain and blocking their efforts. The root system belongs to the heartwood tree, which according to the Skyweaver is the source of all plant life on the island. And its power grows stronger with every passing year. It's at this moment that Elisa realizes that the heartwood tree is the reason why nothing's grown around the egg since they found it. Its roots are actively blocking all life from growing near it. With the fate of the island hanging in the balance, Elisa must now decide. Destroy the heartwood tree and risk upsetting the island's delicate balance of nature, or allow the cyclone to destroy the village and kill everyone inside, including the baby. Luckily for her, there's another option. Working together, she and Aris are able to stabilize the cyclone, allowing the Skyweaver to teleport it directly into the ocean, where it can dissipate without causing any harm. With the worst over, the Skyweaver heals the mountain's wounds, and everyone heads back to the village to regroup. As they enter, however, they're met with a terrible sight. Zig and the egg are gone, and in their place is a single white feather. Where did he go? What does this mean? Will we ever find out? Who cares? This is obviously just a setup for next week's finale. And while we wait to find out what happens next, I want to take a moment to say thank you for joining me on this adventure. Thank you for watching, for sharing, for liking, for commenting, for all of it. It's been an absolute blast bringing this show to life for you every week, and I can't wait to see where we end up next. But until then, here's a little something to tide you over. If you haven't already, please check out my podcast. New episodes drop every Wednesday. If you listen, you'll get to hear all about the crazy things happening behind the scenes, like for instance, how this show almost did unhappen because I got COVID day of and had to record the first episode alone in my closet. Yeah, it's a good time. So give it a listen, and I'll see you in the next one.